So do you think they were robbed? So do you think Kaizer Chiefs were robbed?
Amongst the many mistakes that the official made, yeah, I would say so, man. Because some things you can say arguably, like for instance, we might go into the Bruno Fernandes thing, right? That the foot seemed high, and off first glance you could say, maybe it's a red, but when you play the replays, you're like, okay, it shouldn't have been. The Chiefs' goal, in my mind, watching it from the stadium from that vantage point, I didn't see anything wrong, and if there was something wrong. I don't know. It wasn't a matter of millimeters or a matter of split seconds in terms of I could have missed something. I was like, where is it? Where is the fault? So with those kind of situations, then you can use the word robbed. If things are close and someone is like 3 centimeters onside but it's called offside, then we can argue and say in real time it's difficult. But with that goal, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So I don't think they were robbed. The second goal by Sundowns, that was an offside from Ribeiro, but the decision at the end, and I'll tell you why, right? Do I think there was a foul? No, I do not think there was a foul. But do I think they were robbed? No, I do not think they were robbed. And that sounds contradictory, except for the fact that the thing we continue asking from referees is that they are consistent. And you mentioned the fact that so many times in that match we were watching, and it felt as if every time Sundowns took a corner, the ref blew. We do not know why. And whenever there was any kind of pressure on a player who's carrying the ball, any kind of being in his, like, close up to him, or any kind of physical contact, because the game supposedly is no longer a contact sport, the ref would blow. So on the basis of how he was blowing throughout the game, he did the same thing. See, if there was like a once-off occasion, and maybe because I'm not a Chiefs fan, if that was a once-off occasion, I'd be like, yeah, it was the wrong call. But it was the wrong call in a series of wrong calls, because any of the other decisions that he made, which I would say were not the right calls, were not fouls, they could have turned the game in any which way. So it is, and that would be like revisionist. But if we're going with he was consistently bad, that was consistent with the way that he was blowing, and as a result, it so happened in the biggest of moments for Kaizer Chiefs in that game, arguably. But that's the way that ref was blowing the entire time. So, were they robbed? Nah.
No, they definitely were. I'll stand for the colors that I was wearing on the weekend, right?
Of course, you see.
But here's what I'm gonna say, Jay. Was he bad on the day? Definitely was. Calling for things that were incorrect on both sides, right? But I think these kind of decisions are the ones that call for VAR. For instance, if he's blowing for something that happened, some infringement, in the corner kicks that were in the favor of Mamelodi Sundowns, VAR would not intervene. But if the ball hits the back of the net, these are the moments that VAR intervenes, either for red cards or for goals. That's why I would say they were robbed.